The following is a rebroadcast of the Newark City Schools Board of Education's most recent general monthly meeting.
I'd like to call this meeting to order, the Newark City School District Board of Education meeting on September 9th at 5:15 in the high school library. Jeff, call the roll, please.
Mr. Blind?
Here.
Mr. Bybee?
Here.
Mr. Carr?
Here.
Mr. Harden?
Here.
Mrs. Nickum?
Here. And now Mr. Bybee will lead us in the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, let's all stand and face the flag. Remind ourselves how fortunate we are to be here in Newark and enjoy this school district that seems to be happy, strong, and healthy. And just say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Dan. Special reports. Do you have a construction update?
Yes. At the high school, the parking lot is complete. We still have some issues right outside the hub here that they're going to come back and take care of later. Yep, some spots that were sinking, and so we'll make sure that's dried out. So we are correcting those. We have an issue in the back with the ground dirt going back out in the parking lot. I think that's getting taken care of this week. Starts tomorrow in the back behind where the old H building was. Our door package is complete, looking good. So, you know, we're at the point where we just have some little punch list items and some things like that we're taking care of. Here at the high school, at Roosevelt, we're all in. All three groups are in. The ESC moved in. They still have some boxes out in the hallway. Our boxes have pretty much disappeared. Our folks have done a wonderful job of moving us in there, and so we're all there. And again, Roosevelt's also a punch list deal right now too, where we're going around the building. Dave and his group's going around the building and identifying spots, and for the most part, we're about construction free. Good feel.
Very good. Anyone have any construction questions?
I don't have any questions, but I got a comment. Doug, I can't tell you the number of people in the community I've talked to that have been complimentary about the Roosevelt building and being able to renovate it as opposed to selling it or getting rid of it. And I just think it's a strong message to the community, and the community gives us about the confidence they have in the school district. So thank you very much for your efforts in that.
Thanks for mentioning that. We had a lot of good visions in that building, and I think that are coming through. The one that I didn't have, and I won't speak for everybody else, that was kind of after the fact, that you drive by there, it looks like a school building, and I think that's neat. It's an office building that looks like a school building, and we've been able to keep that flavor from the outside part of that building, and so that was something that I didn't envision, but it's kind of neat to see. Neat to see.
I have a related question. ASC downtown, what's the date on that auction?
The auction for the building and some old loose furnishing content that we'll no longer be using is October the 12th.
12th. That's what I thought.
10 for the loose furnishings auction, and then 11:30, 85 East Main Street will go up for auction. So if you're interested in the 1916 post office, be there.
We have one. Put it on eBay. 12th. 10 for the furnishings, 11:30 for.
And I think we'll start at 10. There will be a different auction. There'll be for the, of course, loose furnishings. Then we'll take a break at 11:30 to do the building. Then he'll go back to the loose furnishings.
Good. Great.
Okay, technology update.
Yeah, we continue to move forward with our technology in terms of teacher and student use. A couple things I'd mentioned. It's been really neat at the ASC to see the professional development that's been going on back in what we call the Roosevelt room, the old cafeteria. In there, that's a wireless lab, and we've had carts in there for our staff members and to use. And it's neat to see our staff using and relying on technology in their professional development. You're in a room where behind the bookshelf back in the back, our senior English students, I was in here last week with them for a little bit, and working in groups. All of them had MacBooks and doing their research, and those type of things. It's kind of not a surprise, but it's neat to see how things have changed, how quick they can research things by sitting with their MacBook instead of up moving around an old-fashioned style library. And so access to information is so much quicker for them. And I'm really impressed with their teamwork. I see a lot of good projects going on, so that's neat to see with it. So,
Does anyone have any technology questions?
Where are we on bring your own device?
it's up today.
Yeah, at high school, they activated it today. So they're on track.
Timely question, Kurt.
Yeah.
Great.
What is that? Is that just a certain group of the students, or is it?
No, as long as they have their agreement paperwork in, they would be able to access it with their device.
Okay.
And
That
have
could
an
be a
acceptable
phone or
use
a
policy.
pad or tablet, anything. Okay.
And they follow our policy,
Correct.
obviously.
Okay, and then we'll move on to communication from the floor. Anyone wishing to address the board, please come to the podium, give your name and address, and you may speak for up to 5 minutes. Does anyone wish to address the school board at this time? If not, we'll move on to treasurer's recommendations.
It's recommended the minutes of the August 12, 2013 board meeting, regular meeting be approved. Item 2B, approval of the August financial statements and payment to vendors, which includes earned interest in the amount of $4,113.89. Our balances is general fund is $21.9 million, bond retirements $3.69 million, permanent improvement $1.87 million, building fund is $1.11 million, food services $900,000, OSSC project local is $120,000, OSSC project state share is $2.91 million, classroom facilities is $2.41 million, other miscellaneous is $680,000, for a total in the bank of $35,600,000. And that does agree with the Park National Bank reconciliation. Next item, 2C, is approval of the 2014 permanent appropriations resolution. That's the 2 pages, the third and fourth pages that I gave to the board. Total of those appropriations is $131,273,706, of which $62,732,452 is general fund, and $55,417,829 is bond retirement. Item 2D is the approval of change order for Roosevelt renovation. That's $62,517. This is moving the building, the pole barn, I shouldn't call it a barn, but a new pole barn construction. It's next to Roosevelt. You all had approved construction of that. We found if we put it as part of the project with the Roosevelt building, then it opened other avenues in our financing and everything like that. So it's just moving it from the permanent improvement fund to that project at Roosevelt. That's all this is really doing. So I would hope, if there's no questions, to approve items 2A through D.
To have a motion to approve treasurer's recommendations 2A through D.
So moved.
Second.
Kurt has moved, Thomas second. Any questions or discussion? Not call the roll, please, Jeff.
Mr. Harden?
Yes.
Mr. Blind?
Yes.
Mr. Bybee?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Nickam?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Superintendent's recommendations.
Okay, under item 3A, personnel, retirements, resignations, I call your attention to addendum 1, Christina Cyrus, a preschool teacher at Legend Elementary, which was a new teacher this year. And regretfully, I will tell you, she resigned for personal reasons shortly beginning here at the school year. However, I will share with you, we've found a highly qualified, suitable replacement. So there's also under the classified staff, we've had a few retirements, and we appreciate their service, Linda Hunter and Jan Wiedow. And so thank you for their leaves of absence. We have a couple leave of absence under the classified staff. Appointments and assignments under item 3. Caitlin Roush is the new high school intervention specialist teacher. And Caitlin was hired as we had a need to fill a visually impaired. And I'm going to mention that Ellie Callis stepped up to the plate and was a great teammate in our district and went back into the visually impaired unit at Cherry Valley. And so we appreciate Ellie's work. Ellie did a lot of work this summer to transcend into the high school. And so Caitlin was hired when Ellie moved back to Cherry Valley. So we appreciate Ellie's work and we welcome Caitlin. Classified staff, we have a list of classified staff to hire. Supplemental contracts, again, this list gets shorter each month, hopefully, and I commend Barbara and her work with our administrators to make sure we fill those positions. After-school ventures program, again, we have our program, and I'm going to ask Mindy to shake her head yes or no, that we have our program at Heritage, Wilson and Cherry Valley. And so this is the second year, I believe, of the 21st Century grants for those schools. It's renewable every 2 years, and so that staff will, every 5 years. Okay, but we continue to apply for additional units at our other buildings, and so that's pretty competitive, and so we're thankful that we have 3. And so you have a list of those people. Salary and adjustments. Call your attention under the supplemental with Treg Smart. He was hired at full contract with 7th grade. He's 20%, so that adjustment's on there. Under item 6, tutors, Tamara Ryan was hired at $29.28. She needs to be adjusted to $36.82. Also, we have a list of substitutes, both certified and classified, and custodians on there. So that's items 1 through 8 under personnel.
Do you have a motion to approve superintendent's recommendations, A, personnel 1 through 8?
So moved.
Second.
Dan is moved, Tim is second. Any discussion or questions? Not call the roll, please, Jeff.
Mr. Bybee?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Blind?
Yes.
Mr. Harden?
Yes.
Mrs. Nickum?
Yes, motion carries.
Under item B, students and curriculum. Item 2, special ed contracts, addendum number 2, approval of a special ed contract with Sunbelt Staffing. This is to fill in why one of our staff members is on pregnancy leave. And so we're into that contract. Items 4, 5, and 6, we have nothing. Item 7, other approval of foreign exchange student and a host family, Tom Bowman. So we appreciate the Bowman family for their hospitality and bringing in a student. Item C, gifts, monetary from Target Take Charge of Education Program, $743.16 to Newark High School. And we have no item D.
Do you have a motion to approve superintendent's recommendations 3, B, C, and D?
So moved.
Dan is moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Tom is second. Any discussion or questions?
Yeah, on the addendum to it looks like it's, and I may not understand all the paperwork of this, but it's signed by Mark Severance, and the dates are like 2/9/11 on the paperwork here. So I'm wondering, is that just an open contract we have with Sunbelt that allows us to do that?
That was the last time that Sunbelt had been used by us, but yes, they have one contract, and then we do an amendment each time.
Okay, so there'll be something that changes with that.
Something new.
There's another date here on the front
see that.
page of that, so.
The original was signed in 2011 by Mark Severance.
We will make sure that we have a current contract, proper dates, proper signature.
Any other questions or discussion? Not call the roll, please, Jeff.
Mr. Bybee?
Yes.
Mr. Blind?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Harden?
Yes.
Mrs. Nickum?
Yes. Motion carries. We have no Board of Education reports or recommendations. We can move on to board discussion and start down there with Tim, please.
Board discussion?
Your comments.
Great time to be a cat. School year seems to be going well. Been in several of the schools already and enjoy what's going on around town. A lot of neat things. So that's about it.
I will pass.
I just want to remind parents, with school year starting, please read to your parents or to your children. Please work with them. I keep hearing things on TV, parents are working 2 jobs, parents busy with this, parents busy with that. None of it's as important as your child's education, so please take a few minutes each day, work with your child. I'd also like to remind people or let people know the athletic boosters this Saturday morning having their 5K down at Rotary Park. $25, you get to walk, run, jog, crawl, whatever you want to, through the scenic OSU Newark campus, up Evans Boulevard, or whatever that street's name. You running this year?
Are you gonna run?
I'm running.
Okay.
Well, I'm jogging.
Well, I'll have to see how my schedule is.
Yeah, I'll be the one that people will be going, yep, he's moving. But I'll be out there.
I can wave at you from my house.
There you go. Hey, you bring me breakfast. You heard that right here on whatever our station is. With that, I'll pass.
I want to say thank you to Target for your gift. You've heard me say before that these companies have a lot of things that they can do with their money, and to think that they have enough confidence in the school district to give us these months, month after month, from various companies is just a great thing. So thank you very much to Target. Got to make a couple of comments. Last Friday night, we had our home opener football game. And first of all, what a great night for football, high school football. Perfect evening. When I arrived, I got there just a little bit late, and I was so impressed that the stands seemed to be full. Parents, students. Doug, thank you also for bringing the students into the stands instead of on the end zone. I think that really creates a lot of excitement.
And that was my idea then, Dan.
Well, it's a great idea, whoever came
Jeff
up with it.
Quackenbush.
And again, just to see the excitement in students being right there. And I also have to give a shout out to the band. My gosh, the band, first of all, they sounded terrific, but they looked so good. And it was so impressive to see the band play at halftime. So again, you see that this positive momentum that we've been developing over the years carry forward. And I will tell you, and I think everybody realizes, we got some tough decisions to make in the next couple of months, and we've got some tough work that we have to do, passing the renewal referendum. And I just hope that the citizens of this district see the improvements that have been made over the years, and again, they'll extend another vote of confidence to us, and we'll be able to pass that renewal levy. So again, that's going to be coming up in a couple of months. That's all, Beck.
Okay, Jeff?
It's a fantastic time to be a cat. I feel like it's such a fantastic time to be a cat that I welcomed a new granddaughter into the cat fold this week. She lives here in Newark, and she weighed 6 pounds, 6 ounces, and her name's Mackenzie Lynn Key. And obviously, I'm a grandparent, so I think she's one of the most beautiful things in the world. So I'm glad to be a cat, and I hope we continue to be the good community we are and continue to support our schools.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. I would tell the comments made down through from the board, Tim, I would echo what it said. We've had a great start to the school year, and so many people need to be thanked. I'll start with our community for observing safety of our students as they're out and about right now, and our staff worked very hard over the summer, and our buildings look wonderful. Professional development with our staff was excellent, and I think we're stronger than we were last year. Barbara and her group brought in some wonderful first-year teachers, and we're probably about 90 people with 3 years' experience or less, somewhere in that neighborhood. And when you look at those 90 kids, there's some really, really strong leaders in that group. It's nice to see. And it was great to see, Dan, the football game the other night. Our stands were full. The middle school stand behind the end zone was full. The band sounded wonderful. Kids played hard. Cheerleaders had a lot of enthusiasm. So it's neat to see. That's what high school football is all about. It's not always all about wins and losses. It's a community coming together to support kids, and that's what I saw Friday night. And so I was really proud to be a Cat. I'd ask everybody, because I do this each summer with our staff, you take a step back, and I ask our staff to take a giant step back right now and kind of evaluate who we are and where we're at. And we've talked a lot about our renewal levy in November, and that is money that passed in 2009. And with our buyout a couple years ago, where we replaced 54 people in 2 years, saving the district a little bit over $7 million during an 8-year span, we also didn't replace 10 of those people. So we only replaced 44 at that time. So we're less people than we were in 2009. Our financial forecast is strong. Our buildings are beautiful, new buildings. Our student achievement's higher than it's ever been. And it is a great time to be a Cat. So we got a lot of what Dan Bobby talks about. Renew that positive momentum. Thanks.
Hopefully at this point you've been on Progress Book. If you haven't, get on, check out your students' grades. If you're having trouble logging on and you're using your old password, there are new ones. So check with your student. They should have their new Progress Book ID. I know I had that problem myself when had to run that down with my child who doesn't like to give me his papers he brings home from school, but finally got that and got logged on, and what a great resource that is for parents and students to check their progress and just touch base and see how things are going. It makes a great dinner time conversation starter sometimes also, just for the good and the bad. And so make sure you're checking that out. I would welcome everyone to join us for the ribbon cutting at the high school this evening. And I'll also say, speaking of football Friday nights, I was here Friday for a pep rally here at the high school, so they're getting some pep rallies going and getting a little bit of school spirit started in the afternoon here at the high school, and that was a great thing to see. And so I appreciate Mr. Foolen and the high school staff getting the pep rallies going and starting off with some good spirit days these Fridays for the students. And with that, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Curtis moved, Thomas second. Those in favor of adjourning say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Meeting is adjourned.